webinar. I would love to welcome everybody to the the joint event between Young Water Professionals Germany and Young Water Professionals Nepal. Thanks to everyone organizing it, especially to Young Water Professionals Nepal, who organized inviting a very insightful or very interesting speaker, Dr. Rajit Ojha from Nepal, who will today give a short presentation about the NWASH system. And we will have a bit of interaction today, also a couple of breakout room sessions where the young water professionals, so it's the aim that young water professionals are connecting and first of all, networking, getting to know each other. At the same time, also share ideas, stories, and whatever they want to share. They can also share contact details so they can keep in touch in case there are interesting conversations starting. So our idea or how all this started, we, as Young Water Professionals Germany, contacted the Young Water Professionals Nepal for some, for some collaboration and asking, because we were quite new, like as a chapter, the steering committee. And maybe you can take the next slide, Nivesh.
Yeah.
So it was basically, we thought we do some teamwork together because it's very hard to set up a meeting or like a nice event alone as a chapter. We thought it's much more fun and we will have much more momentum maybe if we do it together, and we can learn from each other. Multiple countries are collaborating. This is something very interesting where we can, or where we also see ourselves from IWA, that we should collaborate more with other chapters. So this is how it started, and we contacted Young Water Professionals Nepal, and myself personally, I was very amazed by the enthusiasm and the willingness that we directly start planning a meeting and planning more meetings, and then suddenly starting to plan this event. And so I'm very happy that today we can, introduce ourselves and also this event. Maybe we can move to the next slide already. So I just start with the Young Water Professionals Germany, and Nivesh will later explain also or introduce the Young Water Professionals Nepal chapter. So in Germany, we're still quite of a young steering committee, because just in the beginning of this year, in May, we the chairs were handed over, and the whole steering committee was handed over to us. And more people joined the steering committee. So actually 3 people are missing on here because it's still an not up-to-date slide. So Christoph and Josephine are also here in the call, who are also part of the steering committee. And we started in May, and so this is one of our, I think it's our second event now we are doing. The first one was at IFAD, this super huge trade fair event, where we organized a webinar, or not a webinar, it was an in-person event about the armed conflicts, or the effects of armed conflicts on the water infrastructure, a special case of Ukraine. We then wanted to focus on getting in touch with other Young Water Professionals chapter to do more events together. In general, what we want to do, since we started the steering committee, we want to strengthen the international collaboration. We also want to do events where we can learn from each other, so that we can empower all the young water professionals more to impact the present and also future water sector around the world. So not only in Germany, but other countries, so that we work together, and that to give young people a word in the water sector. Okay, Nivesh, I think you can
then I'll take
continue.
over. Yeah, thank you so much, Lucas. So hello everyone, I'm Nivesh Shrestha. I'm a part of Young Water Professional Nepal, currently living in Germany. So we have a team of 11 people. I get call it Dream 11, a Dream 11 of 11 people, and we have just formed this steering committee at the start of this year. And so some highlights from 2024. So we just finally nominated. So we still have advisory committee, And the old steering committee, so they decided on the new steering committee, and it was formed this year for 2024 to 2026. And until now, we have a strong growing network of 216 young water professionals and counting. And in the last few months, we have hosted a couple of webinars, and this collaboration with Young Water Professional Germany is the first of the kind that we are going on with. So we are really looking forward to working more with Young Water Professional Germany as well as other country chapters in the future. So about what's next for us. So we have a Water Forum Nepal. So it's IWA country chapter in Nepal. So we are in collaboration with them, and right now we have just started, and then we are planning to do more events with them in the future, maybe more physical events as well, and more collaborative events with other country chapters. And we're also planning to do some online workshops that would be exclusive for Young Water Professional Nepal members, and some in-person networking events that is also going to come in the coming months. And if you want to check our Facebook pages and LinkedIn, the QR code is on the side. So just going through the agenda of today, sorry. So we'll be starting with the introduction as we are doing right now, and then we'll be having a 15 minutes presentation from Dr. Ojha. And then we'll be having, I think, around 8 minutes of Q&A session, and then Lucas and his team, so they will be going forward with the breakout session, introduction and all. So here you guys will be divided into a group of around 5 groups, and then you'll be discussing, you can network, you can talk about various questions that we'll be presenting. And then after 10 minutes from each group, one person will have to pitch a short presentation just for information, networking and all. And then we'll have the conclusion at the end. So based on the information that we have received from the registration form on the breakout rooms, so we have an overwhelming number of participants choosing WASH. So it's almost 45%. So that's based on the registration form. I know we are a bit less here than the registered people. So we'll be starting a poll right now so that it would be easier for us to manage the breakout session. And yeah, you'll see a question. So please choose one of them so that we can have a question. Yeah, a good number. Yeah, so we have around 11. We'll wait for some few seconds. Or maybe we can keep it going for some moments. I'll just carry on with the slides. So now finally moving on to welcoming our speaker, Dr. Rajit Ojha. So Dr. Rajit Ojha is the Chief of National Water, Sanitation and Hygiene NWASH Monitoring Information System at Nepal's Ministry of Water Supply. And he has been overseeing the progress towards SDG 6.1 and 6.2. He holds a PhD from the University of Yamanashi, Japan, and a master's degree from IHE Delft in Netherlands. With over 16 years of experience working with international organizations like UNICEF, ADB, and World Bank on WASH financing, he has now been leading the Institutional Support and Service Advisory Unit and the National Water Supply and Sanitation Training Center. He also specializes in water pricing, project engineering, and disaster risk management. And he has also been applying machine learning to enhance WASH-MIS efficiency and has authored several publications on WASH services in Nepal. So thank you so much, Dr. Rajit Ojha, for accepting our invitation to speak and present the topic. We are really, really thankful for that. And for the question, I think I can end the quiz, Savita, Lucas.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So I think you can present the slide, Dr. Ojha.
Yeah. You need
Hi,
to,
am I audible?
yeah, yeah, I can share the screen.
Share the screen. And is my slide visible?
Yes, but not the, yeah, we have the
Yeah.
full one now.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Hello from Nepal. Thank you for the opportunity to present our management information systems journey. So I will be presenting today about how our management information within these few years and how we are thinking of taking it forward. So basically, in 2015, when we were declared federal state with 7 provinces and 753 local governments, the water supply and sanitation was declared as the fundamental right as per the constitution, and most of the functions were devolved to local governments. So what that meant in terms of data management was the centralized data system is not going to work because most of the data system should be operated from the local governments. So we decided the data layers that we need to operate, and as per the data layers, we thought the collection, update, and use of data can be done from the local governments, and then service provider also can chip in with those data sets. Those data can be validated from the provincial governments, used from the provincial governments in forming the projects. And the data architecture and guidelines need to be prepared in the central government, federal government, and those can be updated and used by the federal government itself. So local government and service providers need to be motivated enough to create the database in this structure. So when we started that, we started our database with functionality and sustainability of rural water supply, monitoring and evaluation system. Slowly, we realized that this is not going to work unless we do we help some kind of planning integration for the local governments, and then the planning integration happened. Then water quality was inbuilt. We tried to integrate the utilities indicators also through utility career path and business plan of utilities. And right now we're trying to focus more on the private sector's integration also inside the database management, along with the sanitation benchmarking and governance assessments. So the idea was like, we'll try to collect the status of water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. And then based on the sustainable development goals, the goals are already there. So we'll try to calculate how much investment will be required for each local governments through the life cycle cost assessment, and also try to find out what can be the financing options. It can be tariff, it can be tax, it can be transfer, or some other innovative financing options. We'll try to record all those data sets inside this management information system. So this is one of the example that I'm trying to put forward as a status. You can see one of the municipalities status, that this is sanitation status of Karjana municipality, which is located in Sira. So what we do is like, based on that one and the goal they are trying to achieve, we'll try to find out how much investment will be required. Here you can see how much capital investment will be required, how much capital maintenance will be required, how much operational cost will be required, how much direct support will be required. So overall, how much total cost will be required to reach the sustainable development goal. This has been calculated automatically inside the system. So what they will do is like, what local government will do is prioritize the project, and based on the priority of the projects, the year of that funding will be decided. So if they decide like, okay, I'm going to put this project in very high, that project's cost will be integrated in the initial years. So after they calculate the investment requirements, after the local government calculates the investment requirements, we go with the financing options that local government can put forward. So we did this because we noticed that whenever the projects are generated, mostly they focused on the capital expenditure, whereas all required operating expenditure are not seen. So life cycle cost assessment need to be done, and that has been done inside the system. So capital expenditure, maintenance, and OPEX and DS has been calculated as I have shown you before, and we are trying to divide it into the revenue streams such as like tariff, tax, transfers, and then trade, repayable finances, and some innovative options like shares, equities, bonds, corporate social responsibilities, etc. We're doing this because we notice that overall financing efficiency can be only better if they take kind of evidence-based planning. For example, I have been taking this picture from Sanitation and Water for All's financial handbook. The first idea, the first easiest thing that we can do in leveraging the finance is maximize the value of existing public funding. So that can happen only if we know from the data where the investment will be required. And that can be done through the status, WASH status. And then we can go to the mobilize more funding part where we can use those status to leverage the funding. Example, like we can take the healthcare facilities database, communicate and negotiate with the Ministry of Health and try to bring more funding inside our sector. Then we can go on the increased repayable domestic finance, where we will try to use the loan part for the WASH sector. And then we can go for other innovation and least explored approaches. So to do the easiest part also, the data is the critical intervention that is required, which we are trying to incorporate through our system. We're trying this data to use for three purposes for the local governments. We're trying to use for the advocacy. We're trying to build the capacity of the local government. We're trying to sensitize the local governments that how much investment will be required, why the investment on WASH is required, and what it will do in terms of impacts. Then we are trying to do the backstopping of local governments through providing data and planning purpose. And we are trying to coordinate and collaborate so that the local government will be able to formulate their plan and strategy and implement their plan and strategy. So along with that, we are trying to develop the data of the system blocks also. I'm showing 9 system blocks based on IRC's document. We're trying to collect the data of policy and legislation, planning, institution, finance, infrastructure, regulation and accountability, monitoring, and water resource management also within our system, so that the system would be complete. We are not taking the data of output only. We are also taking the data of the process indicators as well. So these are a few examples. Like we're trying to take what kind of legal frameworks are available inside the local governments. We're also trying to take the institutional data, like whether the human resource capacity is enough or not inside the local government, whether they have the monitoring person available or not inside the local government, whether they have capacity strengthening master plan available or not. We're also taking the water quality related data, as you can see in the presentation. So based on that one, we're able to identify what are the problems inside the water supply systems. Here you can see, if you take all the national data, you can see among the systems which are delivering water, only 54% of the population are getting water for sufficient for daily needs. That means although we have like lot of utilities, those utilities are not operating properly because they are not able to give the service what the design had intended. So there must be a problem since we are not delivering expected service level as designed. So we integrated the utility career path modules inside our database. This is in pilot stage, where we are trying to do the business planning for the operators also. So here the operator will try to decide where they want to reach in terms of level and quality of water supply service and operation and management efficiency. And that would be reflected in their business plan, and the performance-based grant can be decided based on these indicators. So these 4 ladders that I have already shown you right now, what we are trying is like we already modeled the investment requirements, But this investment requirement can easily be modeled to human resource requirement, tools requirement, material requirement. So these kind of things we are trying to do so that the local government's job can be more easier, and we could chip in the private sector dashboard also inside the system. Here the dashboard can be created easily for the private sector, and we could find out what are the enabling environment for the private sector. So we can do those kind of analysis also. We are trying to do this in near future. And that will help us to develop more financing options inside WASH sector. So one of the unique feature that we try to do was like we try to validate our data sets with the with artificial intelligence and machine learning. Here you can see we can easily find out the maintenance requirement through the image only. We have the image and we have the data also. So we are now trying to validate the data based upon the images. For example, like here, if you can see the corrosion and pipe breaking, and if the condition there, the data taken, if the condition is good, we can easily know that data, the enumerator is not collecting the data properly. So based on that one, we're trying to reduce the data's consistency related risk. We are thinking to do it in the sanitation part also in upcoming future. With this, I would like to finish my presentation, and thank you again for providing me the opportunity to present. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajit Ojha. That's really informative for everyone. So if we have any questions, so please feel free to unmute and ask.
Maybe if there's no one, I can start. I have a question regarding the last slide with the artificial intelligence or machine learning algorithms. This looks very interesting. So you have, was this a project where you trained these or developed and trained these models, or or is it something which is constantly trained with each use?
So right now it is in a pilot stage. What we did was like we collaborated with FCDO UK, and then they have a kind of a grant which supports this kind of on frontier technology. So the first idea was like we're trying to geo-reference the data sets. That's why we took the image through the mobile, right? So we had the image, but they are not in good quality, and we have the data sets. We try to see whether we'd be able to train our images so that we'd be able to assess the data quality. Surprisingly, the data that has come out of those pictures which are not exactly a good quality picture, also we have a very good result coming out of it. It's very optimistic that we can see we can do wonders if we try to train. And we have noted that once you start feeding the images, you are going to get more better results based on their machine learning abilities. So we started it with the taps only, water taps. And right now we're trying to do for the water reservoirs also. We're trying to do for the source also, and we're trying to do for the sanitation data sets also. So only the catch is that whatever we're trying to do should be reflected properly in image. So based means which could be reflected in image can be answered, justified properly. So if something can come out for the validation, which is hybrid of machine learning and manual, that is going to be a very good solution according to us. This is in pilot stage. Maybe in 1 or 2 years, we'll be able to tell you about how it was integrated inside the system. But the piloting are very much enthusiastic, very much optimistic.
Thank you very much. And also thanks for the presentation. It was very, very insightful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, with machine learning and sorry, yeah, please go on.
Sorry, no, go. Please.
Yeah, please go on. It's just a general thing. You can go on.
Okay, thank you. I have maybe 2 general questions about the talk. First of all, I want to thank you for the presentation. What I didn't quite understand, is there, for example, any, or do you deal with some sort of sensible data? like sensitive data regarding, for example, personal data about individuals, and how do you deal with that? Is there any anonymization of the data, for example?
So basically, we have the household related, tap related data, and that is on the perception basis with how they perceive their water quantity. So is it okay for the daily water needs or not? Are they getting the limited water supply or not? So these kind of data, these are like kind of generalized data. We don't provide the individual data sets to others. We provide like municipality level data in the municipal system. So it's like we try to maintain their privacy as much as possible. The data sets that we provide for the others one, the open access, are the municipal related data, which are like later on aggregated into the municipal basis. So we try to maintain privacy.
Thank you.
If anyone doesn't have any question, I have so many questions, and my interest in NWASH is so much. Just to share, like, because given that I directly work in NWASH in 2 municipalities in Nepal back when I was working in Nepal, and I know there are so many good examples of how this system has influenced some of the good work. And I hope, like, I think Dr. Rajit has so many examples of that. So, like, just to give a light on that, can you share some specific examples of how this data integration in WASH system has influence, especially in the policy level?
Can I share my screen just to provide you some screen
absolutely.
recording?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that,
absolutely.
Please.
Yeah.
okay. Let me check.
Yeah, also, like, since we have very like few participants, which is good that we are having an opportunity to talk to Dr. Rajit in person. Like, I encourage any participants, if they have any questions, they can just unmute themselves and ask questions.
So first I will show you how the data is there. Means I have 2 videos. So first I will show you how the data is there. So this is the dashboard. Right now I took this screen recording like long time before. We have more data collected right now. So this is the dashboard that I was talking. We have the tap flow condition I have already shown you. We have the municipal level progress status also. We have the water quality related data also. It is visible, right, to everyone?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay. So this is in map also. So assets are reflected in the geo-reference form, so that later on, if required, we can go to the asset management module also if required. So I will just take one of the example that from one of the municipality. I will take example. So these are like asset related data sets, water quality, water supply asset related data sets, where where are the pipelines, where are the intake, where are the taps. So these are, and where are the projects. So you are easily be able to know the asset condition based on that one. The asset condition is integrated inside the system. Then we can see then we can go on the WASH planning process. We take those data sets and try to analyze within our system. We have the municipality profile, and then the SDG status is calculated based on those data sets. So here the SDGs a ladder is calculated based on these data sets. Then we can go on the planning progress where they are in terms of planning. So we have tried to document all their planning mechanism. Here they know how much investment will be required, the investment status, the sector-wise cost, the municipality-wise cost components, and the cost gaps and everything. And they can build the sector report out of it. So this is the planning report that they can build out of it. And We have the water quality related data also, as I pointed out before. In the map, you can also see the unreached population where the where where the where the water supply has not reached. This is the historical arsenic data set that we migrated. That was taken like 2000 in 2014, but we have the data of those data sets. We migrated those all. Here we know where the people should not be drinking the shallow tube wells. So the water from shallow tube wells. We have also healthcare facility related data where we can identify the WAS status of those healthcare facilities. So we have also other WAS data like unsub population I told you before. So these are the unsub population that we have to serve. Now, based on that one, the local government can decide, the provincial government can decide, the federal government can decide where the money should go for the basic human right. So before there was a huge discussion project duplication, which we are trying to remove through this kind of data sets. And inside the WASH planning, we have this water supply system. The local government can prioritize the projects inside the system. So based on this prioritization, the investment requirement will be yearly categorized. How much investment will be required yearly, so they can easily do the planning out of it. I will also try to show you how we try to negotiate with other sectors, how we try to influence the political group, the local level political leaders. This is one of the examples that I took from the same municipality. I tried to show it to the mayor there. He was quite convinced what I was trying to do. So first, I was checking the toilet availability in the school. All the schools have the toilet available. But then I tried to see how many toilets are there with which are disabled friendly. So the number was decreased. Here you can see very less number compared to the overall toilet available. And there are like lot of disabled friendly toilets which were not available in the school. There are a lot of schools which don't have the disabled friendly toilets. So I was asking the mayor whether the money of marginalized community, whether the money that goes into the JC can be used here or not, or whether the NGOs can develop the proposal out of it or not. And he was quite convinced that they should do that in order to leverage the WASH financing. So political sensitization can easily be done through these kind of data sets. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is amazing. It's just like a great tutorial for everyone to see the
Great
videos
tutorial,
about this.
exactly.
It's really
To see
nice.
it in
Thank you.
visual, to know about all this data, I think it's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was just a comment from my end. When I see this, it looks very interesting and fascinating to have all this data in one portal or in one dashboard. In Germany, we face a lot of struggles. Like the data, of course, is available, but just to the utilities. So I personally also work with sewer, like a lot of sewer related data and drinking water network related data. And it's a huge, yeah, it's crazy and very difficult to get this data from a utility because they have so many privacy concerns about the data. So some dashboard like you're showing that you can see where drinking water pipes are going. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have these kind of data available or this kind of data available in a dashboard for each and every utility. I think it would help us a lot if we could have, because so much
The
more
good thing,
research could be done. Yeah.
the good thing that we did was like as per my knowledge, there are like 6 or 7 master's students already graduated, which took these data sets for the research purpose in Institute of Engineering. So we are open to collab because all those research will give us like idea on how to formulate the policies, how to bring the resilience inside this structure. So I think research are going to help. So we are trying to make it more open access as possible with keeping the privacy intact. We are open to all the research people which are willing to use these data sets also. Thank you very much.
Sheila Dangol, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question, but most of the questions were addressed by
Sheila ji, I can't hear you, so I don't.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah, now? Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Rajit, for the wonderful presentation as always. And I had opportunity to remotely work in NWASH, but still like this, it was like I was personally curious to know more about what the NWASH data is and how it has been used. One of my questions is that because it's a huge investment and it's a huge work to get the whole water supply and sanitation data of all the Nepal at the national level, right? From the local level. So I wanted to know like about the duplications of the data or how the data is accurate and how much that is reliable because like people might take the data and they might like how the monitoring is done during this like data is if there is any data validation or monitoring regarding the accuracy and reliability of the data.
Thank you very
That's
much
only
for the question.
I hope it
So thank you very much for the question. Actually, that was one of the challenges that we faced. That's why we try to come up with some of the innovative solution which could like reduce our challenge in validating those data sets because the provincial capacity and the local capacity is quite low right now. So two things that we need to focus on. We need to bring innovative solutions and also try to build the capacity of the local governments and the provincial governments so that the data could be like triple checked, let's say, for example, and bring the validation inside the system. Right now, the provincial governments are still in baby stage, in infancy stage. So I hope later on they would have their own MIS people which would be validating these data sets. I showed you the data layers. The idea is the provincial government would be validating those data sets and make this data more better in terms of quality also. So that is a work going on, I will say.
Okay.
And I have one more question.
Yeah,
I have one
go
more
on.
question. Thank you, Dr. Rajit Ojha, on the answering the question. And one more question is that because you said like in Nepal we do have three tiers of government, like federal, local, and even the provincial, right? So like how do you manage to coordinate with these three tiers of government? And you are also searching for the investment through this data, right? So there are INGOs also involved in this work. So what are the strategies that you have adopted to like bring all these stakeholders together and to strengthen the NWASH system?
The provincial governments are mostly in line with the idea because they are also facing the challenge in terms of where to invest. The local governments, more sensitization is needed. And fortunately, wherever the sensitization has been done, the local leaders have bought the idea. We are trying to integrate some kind of advocating institutions such as like municipal associations and rural municipality associations to tell the local governments about the perks of having a better data sets, perks of having a good plan. So slowly these things are falling in place and few of the future plans that I will tell is like we need to follow the performance-based grant related mechanisms so that the local government would be able to would be more motivated in updating these data sets. If the finance is attached, if the grants are attached with the data creation, this is going to help. And also we can create the performance-based grant for the operators also, where if the data start coming from operator as day-to-day sources, that is going to help us a lot, I think.
That is amazing.
Okay.
I can see one of the questions. Sorry.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I have one more question. May I
But
ask one last question?
can we
know.
do that in the breakout session?
yeah,
Because sticking with the time, I think we still have other questions from Natalie and Surya, but yeah, let's carry on the questions to the breakout room. There you'll have enough time to talk and discuss, and we will be jumping around the room if you need help anyways. So I'll be sharing a screen about the questions. Just a moment. Yeah, so Lucas?
Yeah. So maybe the ones who still had questions, we can suggest you if Dr. Rajit is also going to one of the breakout rooms, maybe one of the two WASH breakout rooms, which we will have. Maybe we can say, or yeah, maybe they can go to the second. Maybe Dr. Rajit, if you feel free, if you want to go to the first, like there's WASH 1 and WASH room 2. You go to the one, then some people can go who have questions to WASH room 1. The other ones, please go to the other, or please make a good split between the two groups, because we have a lot of people interested in WASH. I will now open the rooms. Then before you enter, you can, I'll just explain briefly how we proceed. So you can see the rooms now, and you will be able to join one of these rooms after I explained a little bit the suggestions. So first of all, when we start the discussions in the breakout rooms, you feel free to introduce yourself when you want to raise a point or when you want to bring up some discussion. The second, please try not to interrupt others. If too many people want to say something, you can raise your hand. In Windows, you can use Alt and Y, or in Mac, you can use Opt and Y as a shortcut, or you can find also in your panel of Zoom. Some questions which we like to, I don't know, you don't need to answer these questions, but this is something which might help you during the discussions in the breakout rooms. You will also broadcast these in the chat to you, so that you can, that you don't have to remember them right now. So the questions would be, what data should be collected and how can it be published for each of your topics? Also, how could open data in your area promote better decision making or drive innovation, community engagement, research? So in general, thinking of what would help in your area to boost innovation. On the other hand, you could think of challenges, which challenges might arise through collection and sharing or using the data. And also you could think of some trends or emerging technologies. What is something which could enhance your the use of data, and also your to share and utilize open data in your area? So this is just suggestions, or these are just some suggestions for questions. You can, in general, just start discussing about the topic. The best would be if you go to each breakout room which you assigned in the registration, or which you also signed up in the poll. But yeah, you can also switch if you want, but it would be nice if you stick to the breakout room, because it's just 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, we're coming back to the main room. And we have some time for summarization. So maybe if one person can, from each breakout room, summarize quickly in 1 or 2 minutes what they have been discussing about, that would be amazing. So you feel free to join the breakout rooms, whichever you want to go in. And we meet again in 10 minutes, and happy discussions.
Okay.
लेस भोल्युम लाइट बनाउने कि IMIS को पनि लाइट वेट भर्जन बनाउने कि भनेर चाहिँ with
तर डेफिनेटली अहिले डेटा सेटहरु इन्टिग्रेसनमा चाहिँ एकदमै पोसिबिलिटी छ सो वी आर ट्राइङ टु इन्टिग्रेट विथ द मिनिस्ट्री अफ हेल्थ डेटा अल्सो वी आर ट्राइङ टु इन्टिग्रेट विथ द क्लाइमेट डेटा अल्सो त्यो क्लाइमेटको लागि भयो भने क्लाइमेट डेटा इन्टिग्रेट हुनु पर्यो हेल्थ इम्प्याक्ट हेर्ने भने हेल्थको डेटा इन्टिग्रेट हुनु पर्यो सो लट अफ डेटा पोर्टल्स विच कुड बी इन्टिग्रेटेड एन्ड वी कुड बेनिफिट आउट अफ इट भन्ने चाहिँ इम्पोर्टेन्ट भयो जस्तो भर्खरै अहिले जुन तरिकाले डायरियल डिजिजहरु भयो नि हाम्रो भनाइ के रह्यो भने मिनिस्ट्री अफ हेल्थसँग हामीसँग डेटाबेस छ सो यु निड टु प्रोभाइड अस वेयर द डायरियल हटस्पट्स आर हामी त्यहाँ हेर्छौँ नि त वाटर क्वालिटी मोनिटरिङ भइरहेको छ कि छैन भनेर हामीले हेर्नलाई त सो त्यो हटस्पटको डेटा चाहिँ हामीलाई अगाडि नै हुन्थ्यो भने would bring all our intensive efforts into that water quality that area for water quality monitoring ni ta haina so then both data will correlate with each other actually then we'll know what is happening in the ground भन्ने तरिकाले हामीले मिनिस्ट्री अफ हेल्थमा पनि कुरा गरेको थियौं अहिले वाटर क्वालिटीको सर्वेलेन्स वाला पार्ट पनि हाम्रै सिस्टममा इन्टिग्रेट गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने खाले चीजहरु चाहिँ I think all of us are Nepali, so I'm going in Nepali. I don't know.
Yeah, that's all good. Surya ji ko questions ha jasto लाग्यो मलाई.
हजुर, please.
Rajit sir, namaste.
Namaste, long time.
Namaste, long time, ekdamai. And namaste to everybody. My question is actually regarding the funding. Of course, it requires a lot of human resources to get these data. And when I last time checked at the data of Madi municipality, I think there were only 165 household data or so. How you are streamlining the funding agency to like also to contribute in the collection of data, also validating the data through municipalities.
Actually, the funding related things has like lot of philosophies, right? Because it is the local government related data. So first we're trying to help the local government. Now the philosophy is slightly changing. We're trying to think local government should fund that data creation also. What we can do is like we can incorporate something like performance-based grant. Okay, unless you collect these data sets, you are not going to get money in WAS sector, something like that, right? So
from the provincial or from the
so that brings us the mandatory provision for the local government. There is another funding philosophy that can be like you create the operators and tell the operators to create the data through the tariff, right? Not the tax, create the data through the tariff. Then you are loading all those data related funding to tariff, but you are making the operator strong also because they will be able to see the day-to-day data. So that is another philosophy, but that philosophy I think will take like 2 or 3 more years because the operators are not like clear in the picture till now. There are no bigger operators. Wherever there are bigger operators, we're trying those operators to collect their data themselves. So that is another philosophy we're trying. So right now, whoever development partners are supporting, we're trying to integrate with the hard, means whatever support they are doing, we're telling them first create the data set first and then go with the support, because it will require like 700,000 to 1 million. And that will be like kind of very less money compared to the overall programmatic budget. That has created the baseline information. But to update, definitely the local government and operators need to come in front. Otherwise, the update is going to be very much challenging.
Just additional question on top of this. Like now we in the system that we are working in Madi, we have around 350 households, and we have started supplying water for almost 12 hours. Once the overhead water tank will be completed, then we plan to supply 24/7. So and from last 8-9 months, we have been continuously supplying, and we have this tariff data as well, collection and everything, whatever their consumption is. So how we can integrate our data into the MIS data set?
Possible, I think, if they are georeferenced and the data sets are as per the indicators of NWASH-MIS, the integration is possible. Because what we did was like we migrated all the data of Lumbini province before it was collected in M-Water. We migrated all the relevant data. Right now, what we're trying to do is like we're trying to collect the data of SIT flow diagrams, which were prepared from NGOs and other development partners inside our database. Whatever data is there in form of georeferencing, and some kind of course, they can be migrated, and we'll try to migrate it. If you have data, it will make our job easier, it will make our job cheaper. So migration is whatever data you get, you should migrate, in my opinion, because that makes data more cheaper.
Yeah, we are in a process of georeferencing. We have that, but we haven't linked that GIS map or GIS data into this water tariff and consumption data.
We can have a separate
right
discussion
now.
on that one. We can have a separate discussion on that.
So just wanted
But
to, because we have
my
data,
opinion
so how
right
we can
now,
contribute that.
it is migratable. Means
Okay.
you can be optimistic about it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone has questions. Like I was really interested about like the OpenAI collaborating with the NWASH, like trying to integrate the OpenAI with NWASH, and I think it's still on the pilot, right, Dr. Rajit?
It's just a pilot. It's not been integrated inside the system, but the results are very very promising, I would say.
Yeah, because I think like one of the main problem we did have when I also monitored the enumerators training them was like because we have so many like different backgrounds of the enumerator, and not all enumerators are engineers, and it's very hard to find sometimes like sub engineers doing the data collection, especially for the technical water supply one. So I think this integration of AI is going to be a big one in terms of like.
So what, in my opinion, what it will at least show is the risk areas. Means this data is risky, you should monitor this more. This data is less risky, so you can leave this. It will give the validators and data supervisors more liberty on where to do the sample validation. So it will at least give you that idea.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. I see Amar Ji in the chat. Do you want to discuss anything or ask any questions to Dr. Rajit?
Jay, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
First of all, thank you so much for this presentation and for all the inputs. I'm just a student from the Leibniz University in Germany, and I don't have any specific question. I'm just learning from you guys. You guys can continue, and I'm just taking some information.
It was very nice to hear from you.
Yeah.
It was very nice to hear from you.
Thank you. I hope
Thank
we
you
didn't
so much,
just
sir, for this presentation and for the valuable feedback.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we have like a few minutes left before the breakout room closes. Also like just sharing my personal experience in terms of like, I think that the problem right now with NWASH is obviously going to be on updating, because a lot of projects have, finished with the like NGOs and INGOs helping on doing the NWASH. And I really saw the gap on like, we tried to like really collaborate and work with the local government, but there is always a gap in terms of like training the local government people in terms of like when I went to the Ichagamna municipality back to my like data collection, there was a new stuff coming on which I didn't work on with before, and he doesn't know that there was like NWASH being collected for Ichagamna municipality, which is kind of sad, but there were a lot of people who knew, and they were trying to like connect him. So I think there is a huge gap on when we try to collaborate with the NGOs and INGOs and working together with the local government to fill that gap. So
there is another there is another challenge that we are facing with the local governments is right now the organogram doesn't have the proper human resource in place.
Yeah, exactly.
So but the good thing that came out of this overall 3-4 years intervention is like that is local government's job.
Yeah,
they need to be capacitated. They need to have the human resource enough to be able to operate this. So this is the dialogue point that we can bring this in the federal means in the national scale. And right now we are trying to have a dialogue with the Federal Affairs and General Administration Ministry of Finance to build more people, to bring more people inside the organogram for the WASH sector. So challenge also, and that has created the opportunity also, so that
we were not finished.
Welcome back.
We got sucked out of the room.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still waiting for...
It's like waking up from a dream.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there were many questions in the chat, many hands raised. I hope the questions were addressed in the breakout room. Yeah. Okay. Are we still waiting for?
I think everyone should be back by now. So because the breakout rooms are closed, so we can
Okay.
maybe summarize. We have maybe 5 minutes left to maybe we can summarize a little bit. So maybe we had, I think, as I have, if I have seen it right, there was just one WASH group. So we actually had two, but everyone just went to the first. Is there anyone from? Have you had some nice findings to share within a minute, or nothing special to share?
I would share if anyone in the washroom is not sharing. Besides, I don't know if someone wants. Yeah, but we had a good discussion. So the discussion was mainly on so NWASH is looking forward to integrate the artificial intelligence in terms of like at least uh, uh, trying to see like where are the weak points on the data collection and trying to validate it. And there was a lot of questions on like the financing and how to communicate it with the local government because the data has been collected, but we still have a gap on that. But Dr. Rajit made a good point on that. Now we are like doing the advocacy in terms of like telling the local government that you need to handle your data and you need to have the capacity to handle your data yourself. So that was a point to summarize in the washroom.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the second one was hydrological and groundwater monitoring. That was me and Utsap talking. We don't have findings to share because it was just the two of us, and we were just discussing about the chapters and getting to know each other because we haven't met before, and telling a little bit about our work. So we were discussing about the issue of, because I'm working in sewer asset management, and discussing about the topic of how to get data from utilities for simulating or modeling the structural health of sewer systems, which is quite complicated. But apart from that, we basically just networked, so there's not much to share. Maybe there was more from wastewater management and water quality monitoring, Anastasia, or anyone else?
So we were just three in our group, a little bit more. But I don't know, guys, if any of you wants to share what we've discussed, if you have specific topics to raise. If not, I can just say that we actually only managed to discuss first two questions, and we were just trying to, brainstorm ideas. We didn't really come up with some sort of specific things which has to be done. It's more like brainstorming, a little bit of getting to know each other, I would say. But again, if you guys want to mention something specific, you please can raise your hand or raise your voice.
Okay, well, it's perfect. I mean, the whole event is for networking, getting to know each other. So there's no need to present findings. Just if anyone wants to present something special or some brilliant idea for, I don't know, for some new research or something. Nivesh, I think you did,
Okay,
you were
maybe
in
I can
disaster
go,
monitoring, right?
The disaster portal, and we had some discussion. We were a group of four, Christoph, Sheila, Suveksha, and me. So we talked about some disaster portals that we have in Nepal, Bipod portal, and the another one from the government. So we just talked about it, and Christoph, Suveksha, Sheila, if you have anything to add, please feel free.
Yeah, I also shared two disaster portals from Germany. For example, what Nibesh also knew was Nina. The federal disaster platform, and also there's one which is more oriented towards emergency relief organizations. It's called Fireboard, and yeah, it's more detailed, more in communication with municipalities. It's all in German, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
But exactly, we just had an exchange, which is what is possible, and such a platform, how it is right now, as you saw it by NWASH, how it was displayed in Nepal would probably not be possible to install in Germany due to data restrictions. But it's still very interesting to see, yeah, how visual it was displayed. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, if there's nothing, then yeah, that's all from our side.
We might, yeah, thanks to everyone. I think half of the people already left maybe, but to those who are still here, thanks for staying until the end. And we might, yeah, we thought of maybe we will continue and have another episode of this because working together with Nepal was a lot of fun, and also hosting this event together. Maybe next time we hope to have some more people from Germany also joining. But yeah, it was a very interesting event, very amazing, very great talk from Dr. Rajit. It was very insightful to see all the data sharing and the practices. I would say it's a very good practice example, or good best practice example, where we can only dream of in Germany. And yeah, I really enjoyed the discussions in the breakout rooms. And yeah, thanks to you all, and hope you have a good weekend. Greetings
and
to Sydney,
Sheila,
Nepal, Germany.
Yeah, Sheila, so you want to take a picture?
Not a question, but a picture. Because
Okay.
just before ending this program, once again, thank you so much, Dr. Rajit Ojha. It is really inspiring and motivating for the young network like us, because of you, we have like got a really good visibility. And thank you so much for your time and everything. There was like one more question I wanted to ask, but maybe when we meet, I'd like to
Maybe in the
ask
office. Maybe in the office.
the office. Yeah. So next time when I will, I'll ask that question. But for now, before we end, and thank you to Savita as well for initiating everything. Yeah, she's the one who was like constantly saying that she wants to do the webinar on this. Thanks to her, and thanks to Nivesh as well, and thanks to Lucas as well for initiating the collaboration and everything. And yeah, I just wanted to say that we would like to take a picture together. That's it.
Yeah. So you'll be taking the picture,
So yeah,
Sheila?
yes. Yeah, please
Okay.
smile.
Okay, everybody smile.
That's done.
Okay, thank you everyone. I'm gonna go sleep now. It's really late here in Sydney.
Thank you for the
Dr.
opportunity.
Rajit.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Rajit
you.
Ojha.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Everyone,
Bye.
thank you so much. Have
Bye.
a nice
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, for next collaboration.
Yes. Okay.
We still have to. Okay, I think we should leave. I'm just trying.
Okay. Sorry?
Yeah, I wanted to know if I could get connected to you, Nibestai.
Yeah, okay. You can just a moment.
If you follow the YWP Nepal page on LinkedIn, you can see everyone.
Oh yeah.
Just click it over
We
there.
have all the profiles over there. So
Okay,
yeah, we
thank
can get connected and yeah.
Is our meeting is come to end?
Yeah, it's end. It's the end.
Yeah, it's the end.
Thank-
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
night, Savita. Good
Yeah,
night.
good night. Thank you.
Bye.